We all have locations that make us feel most alive. Sometimes it's a place. Sometimes it's a pursuit. It's difficult to define, but when we're there, we know it. Time slows down, smiles come easier, and the sense of calm is medicine for the soul. Now, we join Mossy Oak's own fly fishing fanatic, Ben Mackey, as he takes us to the South Fork of Idaho's Snake River. This is his element.
You know, it's always been about rivers for me, ever since I was a little kid. I love every kind of fishing. Big blue water, farm pond. Deep down, it's always been about moving water for me. You know, growing up, it was just me fishing. And I remember all the little streams that I fished as a kid. You could throw a rock across any one of them, and the fish I catch would be this big, but I caught them and I figured them out. And I think that was part of the deal for me too, was cracking the code, like what made them do what they were doing, and then becoming a part of that. I carried that all the way through. My family moved to Alaska when I was younger, and the opportunities of fishing up there are unbelievable. So I kind of went haywire when I lived there. And then moved on and started guiding fly fishing in Idaho after I got out of the Army. Running rivers, walking, taking people to high mountain lakes. One of my favorite things about guiding fly fishing is watching people figure it out. You can see right now in this river, if you look close, there's fish rising. There's a little hatch over my head. And there's little clues that you can pick up on. You bring somebody out here that's never been exposed to this, and they see it, and they start to see it happen, and they start to see the bugs, they start to see the fish, they start to see what they have to do to become a part of that. And then when they do it, I tell everybody this, but when somebody does it, when they make a good cast, and the cast is a good drift, and the fish is there, and they've got the right bug, and boat's in the right position, the fish comes up and rises and hits it, and they set the hook right. It's like taking two live wires and touching them together. People just get this jolt of connection to something that they'd never been exposed to before, and you can see it on their faces and their demeanor. And I've seen people change like that. Suddenly fly fishing was their favorite thing in the world.
Growing up, I never fly fished one time. I probably never fly fished till about 6 years ago when Ben brought me out here and he had told me about it. I wasn't really interested in it, and then you kind of get hooked on it. It's probably the hardest fishing I've ever done because it's nonstop all day long. You're working a fly, trying to put it in the right place, and I'm not good at it at all. But Ben, he's pretty much a badass when it comes to this stuff. He's like a freak. He understands the water, understands what's hatching. He had his own business for several years, and he's as legit as they come. You know,
Fly fishing for me has always been my way of connecting with something that I love, a river like this or fish, but it's always best for me when it's connected through that conduit of fly fishing. And I've tried to make it more and more personal by tying my own flies or building my own fly rods, so that when I catch a fish on a fly I tied on a rod I built, it becomes even more special. And it becomes such a central piece of who you are. Everybody that is an outdoorsman, everybody that hunts or fishes or spends time outside has their one thing that is their defining pursuit. It's what makes them who they are. It's what they think about. It's what keeps them up at night. For me, that's floating the Western River and casting the fly rod. And for me, it's like charging my batteries or hitting the reset button. It's where I feel most in my element.
Though they are often very different, each of us shares our own unique connection to the outdoors, a passion that drives us, defines us, and centers us. It's where we are in our element. What is your element?